Welcome to the Switchblade Sisters Social Club. Yet another true crime podcast where two middle-aged friends exploit their worst fears for your entertainment. You're welcome.
For more information, find us on Instagram and Facebook or check out our website at www.switchbladesisterssocialclub.com. Audience discretion advised.
Hi, this is Switchblade Sisters Social Club, and we've got a little bonus episode for you. I'm Dee.
I'm Emma.
So we need to address the really sad elephant in the room, but Emma, this is your last little episode. We will have you back because you are official legal consultant for life.
Yeah.
But you have got a life, basically, and I'd unfortunately have to take a step back from the podcast.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, sexy listeners. I'm sorry, Dee.
Well, it's you're a Switchblade sister for life.
Absolutely.
As is every single one of our listeners. And in exciting news, we've got Isla joining as a new co-host from season 5. Isla Cool. Yes, that's her real name. Isla Cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. From Criminally Good Books, York. She will be joining me as my new podcast co-host. She's done episodes with us in the past. I've talked about her on almost every episode, so our regular listeners will be familiar with my crazy ginger Scottish friend already. So we'll be sharing the new logo and introducing her soon, so keep your eyes peeled. But before Emma takes her leave of absence, we wanted to do a little mini episode for you all because we made a donation. We make a sort of, I guess it's annual donation to charity at the Switchblade Sisters Social Club. We've supported victim support in the past. And this year, you and I, we went to South Africa together. We went on safari.
We did.
Again, we posted some pictures. It was amazing. I mean, how bonkers was it? When I tell people about it, I'm like, fuck, we've done that. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of being in a landscape and an environment that's so different to anything that you're used to, and then just seeing all these animals, like just driving along and here's a lion, you know?
Oh, there's a rhino.
Yeah, just, oh yeah, look, there's some elephants bathing in a lake. Oh yeah, here we're going to stop and have a glass of wine and watch them. I mean, it was
crazy.
Just so surreal and so amazing. And we went to, while we were there, we did a couple excursions, and we went to this place called Molaholo. I've been practicing Animal Rehab Center, and it moved us, didn't it? Because it was so amazing, the work that they do there. As you can imagine, they have a huge problem with poachers, and also just things that we never thought of, like all the electricity pylons, how a lot of the birds get trapped in there and injure themselves and all sorts. And they had two sort of sections to this rehab center. They had like the animals that they kept away from visitors and as many humans as possible so that they could be reintroduced into the wild. That's the ultimate aim. And then they had other animals that were either too badly injured or had too much, they were too kind of domesticated. So those ones, you could see them kind of like a zoo format, but obviously much more care and consideration than a lot of zoos gives their animals. So it was just phenomenal. We saw some amazing animals there. We heard some really depressing stories there, but the work they do was so good. So we made a donation. We made £300 donation. We get a little plaque on their wall. They're going to send a picture when that plaque gets made. So we'll post pictures of that because we're just so proud and so happy that we managed to do that. And I mean, it was just, what was your favorite animal that you saw there?
I love the leopards. Like they had quite a lot of leopards actually, and obviously ones that unfortunately aren't going to be released back. But they had a yellow, like normal coloured leopard, and then they had a black one, and that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. And those the white lions as well, they were really cool.
Well, one thing that we learned there that was super just depressing. You know, all those trophy hunters that we hate.
Hmm.
Um, that quite often the animals are bred specifically to be hunted, but they don't worry about obviously how wild these animals are. So you get lions and so forth that are bred specifically for hunting that are really like not afraid of humans. So they're quite domesticated and they'll approach humans and stuff. So these pricks that are trophy hunting, they're picking off easy targets on top of being absolute dicks. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, you're just so gross. So obviously at the rehab center, they had a lot of these animals that had been bred for hunting that they managed to rescue. It was just such a lovely place, and all the staff were adorable. It was just so cute. So in this little bonus episode, I wanted to do a mini true crime case, and it's
What's
related to our
hopefully a
trip.
poacher gets killed.
It's not, sadly. It's
Oh.
not. But tonight, Emma, I'm bringing you a case that doesn't involve cheating lovers, suspicious basements, or missing persons. Though, frankly, there are plenty of missing objects, some stolen, some destroyed, and the suspect weighs less than your average toddler, looks like a small, angry skunk, and might be the most relentless criminal I've ever covered. His name is Stoffel the honey badger,
Who we met.
who we met. Oh my God. Because my favorite animal there was definitely Stoffel the honey badger. I
Yeah.
fucking adored him.
Who,
And
but he's an absolute terror. Like
he
he,
is,
like I didn't realize that honey badgers were just so vicious and killed like for the sake of it. And what's really funny as well, like going back to obviously my love of Formula One, is
yes.
that Daniel Ricciardo, who was my favorite driver, he referred to himself as the honey badger.
And another Formula One link, who I wonder if Stoffel is named after, Stoffel van Doorn.
I know the name.
Yeah,
Where does he drive?
he Formula One from 2016 to 18, and
Ah, okay.
then went into Formula E and did really well. So
Yeah.
I don't know how common a name Stoffel is, but this episode is one of my main bits of research is a TV show called The Great Honey Badger Heist: Stoffel's Reign of Terror.
Love
If
it.
you don't know what a honey badger is, Google some YouTube videos. You've got loads of videos of them attacking lions and rhinoceri. I don't know. Um, they're fucking hilarious. And this one in particular, he's like the star of the show when you go to this rehab center. He's
Yeah.
world famous. They have apparently folk songs about him in South Africa, TV episodes about him. I mean, he's phenomenal. So, yeah, so I've got some sources which I'll list, but some of the main sources are our own visit to Stoffel. So I'm going to talk a little bit about honey badgers first. The honey badger, Latin name Mellivora capensis, they're found across Africa, Southwest Asia, and the Indian subcontinent. They look like badgers, but apparently they're not actually related to badgers. They've got really, really loose skin so that if they're caught, they can wriggle around freely and still attack. They can be up to 77 centimeters long, so not that big, and weigh up to 16 kilos. To put that in perspective, Lola, my Frenchie, is about, well, she just come back from several weeks at my parents', so she's a bit overweight, but she's about 14 kilos. um, they are solitary nocturnal animals, although they often hunt in pairs. They're mainly carnivorous hunters, so they will attack live animals, but they also do some scavenging. They have very few predators because of their thick skin and bad attitude. Like everything I read and saw about these honey badgers made me love them more, made me
Yeah.
think, what the fuck? Whatever creates animals in the universe, what were they thinking? Because the honey badger has an anal pouch which can slip inside out. Why, you might ask? The smell of this is supposed to be suffocating, but it also helps calm bees when they're raiding the hives
Oh
because
my God.
they are named honey badgers because they are very big fans of bees. So let's go to the Maholo Holo Wildlife
Mahalo
Rehab
holo.
Center. Oh my God, of South Africa. It's near Kruger. It's where we went. It's a place that's dedicated to rescuing and caring for injured animals, just very wholesome and very noble. Until they met Stoffel. Within hours of Stoffel arriving, hours, Emma, he escaped. Apparently the honey badger mantra is honey badgers never give up, never give in, which might be why Daniel has got that as his little
Yeah.
mascot, right?
Yeah.
Stoffel would break into the owner's house. He would break into the kitchen, and the owner wouldn't even dare stop him. He was it's like really difficult to find them in the wild. Apparently, they're not actually badgers. They're more of a kind of weasel. Um, they can sleep off snake bites and wake up healed.
Oh my God.
They just take a nap and they recover from
Wow.
snake bites. Actually, a quarter of their diet is venomous snakes.
Oh my God.
They, as I said,
They
are
are
scavengers.
badass.
Yeah, they're scavengers as well as hunters. So they often go around to human settlements and steal from the rubbish bins. And you often see them fighting off hyenas at these scavenger sites, even though hyenas are on average 5 times their size. They can cause loads of problems for farmers. I think they're kind of like equivalent of foxes in a way, in that they kill their livestock. They've killed dogs. And Brian Jones, the owner, the guy that set up Holo Holo Rehab Center, is often called to rescue or rehome them because they are so much trouble. And Brian Jones actually loves honey badgers. He's saved 50 of them so far, with Stoffel being the most famous. Again, like the other animals, there are some that are kind of kept there until they recover or can be released back into the wild. And others are lifers, let's call them, where they just are too domesticated or too injured to be re-released again. And so they stay there at the center and they're treated so well. Stoffel has a girlfriend as well, which is really cute. And Stoffel was the first honey badger who to be placed in the animal rehab center. His girlfriend is called Tammy. And like I said, Stoffel would regularly break into the owner's house. He would ransack the whole house. He would get stuff out of the freezer. He would piss and shit everywhere. Stoffel is 27 years old now.
They're not supposed to live that long, are they?
No, and they're definitely not meant to still be hyper little Asbo badgers, but he is. He was someone's unwanted pet. So despite everything I just said about honey badgers and their anal cavities being able to flip out, some people still try to keep him as pets. So they knew right off the bat that he was already too domesticated to ever be re-released into the wild. But he was a menace from the get-go. He attacks other animals, giraffes, rhinos, lions. He once wiped out 30 to 40 guinea pigs in one go.
That's not cool.
We heard about this when we got there, but Stoffel had beef with one of the lions in a separate enclosure. And so he managed to escape and dig under the electric fence and break into the lion enclosure and attack the lion. He won that first fight because the lion retreated and was covered in vicious scratches. But next time Stoffel broke in, the lion actually fought back better and dislocated Stoffel's jaw. Stoffel was in the hospital, the pet hospital, the vet animal hospital, for 2.5 months.
Oh, I don't feel sorry for him, to be fair.
No, I mean, I feel like he asked for that.
Yeah.
But he should not have made it to 27. It's just bonkers.
Yeah.
He still, until the day that lion died, he would still try to break into that lion enclosure.
He really hated that lion.
Yeah, and most of the lions at the rehab center now are scared of Stoffel to this day.
I'm not surprised.
He once fought off a leopard and lost an eye. So, like I said, there's load of footage online of honey badgers fighting off other animals that you just would not expect. They introduced the girlfriend to help distract Stoffel. They thought it would calm him down. It did not. he just used her as like partner in crime to help him escape. So we saw Stoffel's enclosure, right? And it was like
Yeah.
Alcatraz.
Yeah. Because
It's like,
they use everything that they can get their hands on. Like
oh my God,
there's tires and stuff in there and all of this and like they're so clever that they would literally use
move stuff
whatever they
around
could. Yeah.
to be able to climb out. So originally Stoffel was fenced in with bolted gates, and he soon learned how to open the gates. He would often get his girlfriend Hammy, I think, to climb on his shoulders so that she could unlock the bolts. Eventually, they had to build this Badger Alcatraz concrete enclosure, which was funded by the local Rotary Club. I don't know why that tickled me so much. I think because they normally like fund sort of healthcare and education initiatives, and they're like, oh, we got to contain this fucking badger. It's for the good of humanity. But Stoffel broke out on day one. He climbed up a tree, climbed along a branch, and escaped. They told us about that, remember?
Yeah.
So in the end, they only left trees at the center of the enclosure, and they have to trim back the branches. So even if he climbs up, he can't jump out of the enclosure. He then spent all night breaking a branch off one of the trees in the middle and carried it on his back, propped it against the wall so he could climb up the branch out of the enclosure. So then they had to take out all the trees. But he continued to escape. Next time, he was found digging up all the rocks in the enclosure and piling them up in a corner so he could climb over them out of the enclosure. I mean, they're fucking clever, right?
Yeah, really clever.
So then they had to remove all the rocks. And it felt like Stoffel loved this game. And I kind of think that Brian Jones did too. It's like a
Yeah.
little bit of a cat and mouse chess game going on between the two of them, right?
Yeah.
One morning, he broke into Brian's house at 1 a.m. He broke a window to come in. Um, so it just makes me laugh. Like they're being terrorized by this cute little adorable badger. Oh, let me show you a picture of him while we're talking about him. This is him and his girlfriend. So cute. So fucking cute. Look at him. Oh, that's him at the front and his girlfriend at the back.
Oh, there we go.
That's so cute, aren't they?
They are.
Um, so can you hear
There's a
Lola?
Lola.
Lola barking. For those of you who've recognized a slightly different background, I had Punami in my office, which is also my podcast recording area. Dino Rod, come at me, bro. Jet blasted some blockages further up the road and flooded my office with sewage twice, not once, but twice. And everything got destroyed. It had to be the flooring pulled out, the walls replastered, half my stuff was lost, all my furniture got soaked in shit, literal shit. So yeah, I'm kind of a mobile podcast studio at the moment until that is done. But anyway, they once found Stoffel rolling balls of mud so that he could make his own balls and roll them up against the wall again so he could climb out over them. One time a keeper, one of the gamekeepers left a rake in it. So Stoffel put it up against the wall, climbed out. Then we saw the tires in there. They were all like contained with poles because previously they just left tires in there for him to play with, but he would pull them up against the wall and use them to climb out. Sensing a theme here, right?
Absolutely.
So they're called honey badgers because they love honey. And they can destroy 50 beehives in one go.
Oh my God.
Which can cost about 1,000 rand a pop, about 40 pounds, and 2 to 3 years to kind of get it back to the stage where they, the development and production. Honey badgers have occasionally been stung to death, but very rarely. Some people use honey badgers, use badger-proof hives, and Stoffel and Hammy are often used to test these new prototypes, which I thought was fascinating.
I love
so
that.
They know that Stoffel is like one of the most determined, persistent honey badgers, right?
Yeah.
So whenever they have like a new idea of how to predator-proof a beehive, they will bring it to the center and test it against Stoffel and Hammy, which I thought was hilarious. So there's one in particular in the documentary that was had this like idea for this new honey badger proof hive. They put it in, and the first few attempts were no problem for Stoffel, so he broke in. Then they decided to put the hives in a tree, but Stoffel just climbed the tree. Next time they put like 10 different hives on a raised metal stand, but it didn't look very high. It looked like waist height. So I was like, that's not going to stop Stoffel. Stoffel tried to climb up, but the stands, the legs of this stand are smooth, so it's really difficult for him to grip. But like, if there's anything around, if there's anything we learned, if there's even a dust, then a honey badger will make it into like a step ladder to get there. Anyway, so Stoffel kind of gave up. But then Hammy, who's clearly learned from the master, the student became the master, she tried and got in no fucking problem. And then she's on the top of the stand with 10 fucking hives.
Oh
so they had to go back to the drawing board. But I just thought it was hilarious that they're the little guinea pigs, you know?
Yeah.
That's my mini case for you, really. Stoffel and Hammy.
What a legend. What both legends.
We cannot do a true crime podcast without touching on probably the most vicious criminal I've ever come face to face with. Stoffel the honey badger.
Literally the only serial killer we've ever come face to face with.
Yeah, 30 to 40 guinea pigs in one go. That
yeah.
Cute little adorable thing. And it's totally, they're right when they say it's the ones you least expect, because you wouldn't look at him and think vicious killer.
No, absolutely.
Terror. That's the end of the episode. Stoffel the honey badger.
Well, if I'm going to end on any note, to end on Stoffel is fantastic.
Well, we're definitely going to be making some content when we go to Harrogate Crime Writing Festival, because we love it there. If you are going, drop us a message and definitely come find us. We'll be in the beer tent, I'm guessing. So come find us there. And we would love to meet you. And we'll be there with Isla as well. So there'll be an official baton passing ceremony.
Yeah.
Probably involving Prosecco.
Absolutely. Best way.
All right. Well, do you want to, not for the final time, but the final time for now, say goodbye to our sexy listeners?
Yeah. Goodbye for now. Not goodbye forever. Thank you for everybody's like well wishes and support that they've given me. I've loved doing this. And just a massive thank you. And bye for now.
Oh no. You're making me cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry.
Okay. Well, we're going to miss you, but you're always in the inner circle.
Thank you.
I would like to also say goodbye to my sexy listeners and see you next time with a new co-host. It's going to be like Doctor Who. You're going to regenerate.
Love it.
I've never watched a single episode of Doctor Who, but I know that fact about him.
I love Doctor Who.
All right. Love you. Love you, sexy listeners.
Love you, sexy listeners. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Love you. Bye.